Kenshi don't feel real, dude. You're plopped into whatever starting location you choose with no paper, no stats. Essentially, when you tune into your character's life, they have brittle bone disease, amnesia, Alzheimer's, dementia, OCD, ADD, ADHD, autism, hypertension, dementia, a bum, leg, a bad eye, Xbox One, PS4. They got it all. Basically, they got it rough. Engaging not just everyone, but anything leaves you lying on the floor like the pizza just got here.
My ears burn.
It feels unreasonable how weak you are, but I guess that just means that your character has never fought a day in their life. Now, if you got that money grindset, that money mindset, Kenshi's got that, baby. A lot of what you're going to be doing early on is finding ways to get stronger, faster, and just make more money. It is such a rags to riches game that the alternative starting routes have you start while getting attacked, not having access to food, being a slave, or straight up not having an arm. Masochists play this fucking game. The lower your start is, the greater the rise. That's why one of the most popular videos to come out of this game is like the torso start. You have to mod this in because it's just so unreasonable. Someone stole shit, like they hobbled around, right, with no arms and legs. They stole shit with their mouth and purchased bionic arms and legs, and they got revenge and turned to the ultimate badass. That's such a cool concept. I gotta warn you before you decide to pick it up or not, it's got a pretty steep learning curve. Nobody gonna get mad at you. Well, sorry, nobody that matters is gonna get mad at you for save scumming on this while you're still learning. Or after, either. Fuck them, do what you want. I started my first game, I got into a fight with some bandits, and so I started up my second game. So I got into that fight and I was on the ground. I didn't have anybody to revive me because I didn't have like a teammate yet. And I was just in the dirt. I had to make a new guy. He died for real. That guy's dead. Okay, second game. I picked a homeless guy with a dog. They were in the middle of the desert, no food, and you know the spiel, no bitches, no paper, all that. Okay, yeah. They traveled and found a sick-ass town, which felt like they should have found at the end of the game because they didn't have any way to pay for anything, and it was literally called World's End. Hard-ass name, by the way. The weapons were impressive but expensive, so Carp, that's his name, got up to a little bit of mischief. Lucky for me, the guard was busy. With their bellies full, they left for another town, a fishing town. They had unlimited food as long as they had unlimited money. And Carp got that money by mining ore outside the city walls. He hired some other people to help pay those bills. They all ate. They all sustained themselves by providing iron to the local shop owner. They got by mining the ore vein located just outside the city walls. It was a good system. The description of the start I chose suggested I could eat that dog, but I didn't want Carp to do that. I didn't want my main character to eat the dog that he's with. That dog did what I said. That implied like a relationship. Like the dog likes me. I don't want to eat anybody that likes me. And so they lived. And they survived. And he eventually became like the strongest unit. Oh my god, he was a powerhouse. Carp recruited even more people to stick with him, started building a little settlement and hired more and more people till it was a little village. I mean, shit was finally going Carp's way. He had a town of people backing him, a blossoming town, a way to generate money, and now what? You see, Carp got bored. Really his creator got bored, so that means Carp is bored. So instead of hiring bodyguards to help protect this town, he simply allowed a bunch of cannibals to enter while he was gone. Dude, the cannibals, I was so fucking scared of them at first. I saw them beating up and taking random NPCs all the time, and when they took my townsfolk, almost all my guys, without much input from me, escaped and just went back into doing their job. Yeah, this being in a cage stuff is like pretty cool, but I think I'm gonna go now. It's been fun, guys. Almost all of them individually lockpicked and escaped. It was crazy. These guys suck at their job. Oh my god! Like they're a group of people known for eating people. They ate one guy. They got like 10, 20 people kidnapped. These guys ate one guy. They fucking suck at their job. Okay, so anyway, I started a new game because I got bored with like the setup that I had. Meet Swift. He has a funny back problem. I'm gonna keep it small with him for as long as possible. Most of the starting points are in piss poor conditions, like the one with my favorite homeless person, Carp. He is my favorite because he doesn't ask me for heroin or starts fights in my gas station. He just steals, which is epic. This game lets you make some crazy mistakes, and it's on you whether or not you want to save scum it. You could get kidnapped by cannibals or slavers, or you could just pick the lock and escape when they're busy, which might lead to them beating you again and killing you this time. If you live, hey, your combat stats increase and so will your lockpicking skills. But if you die, and you're such a cool guy that you keep going, hey, now your companion is the main character. unless you don't have one, and then you probably do. You have to save scum. But if you do keep going, that is such a cool personal story that you've created from that situation. That's what this game is all about to me, creating those moments and memories, those stories. It reminds me of Miyazaki's philosophy in putting those shitty little black knights in Anor Londo. You know the ones, the fuckers from Fuckers Cove on Fuckers Island. I hate those guys so much. But yeah, he thought to himself, like, people are gonna talk about this. They're gonna share it with their friends, how, like, terrible it was, or how they cheesed it, how they maybe just brag about, like, walking right in with a shield and parrying or something. I love that. I love that philosophy. You know it's broken, and you work with it. It's so cool. You might get assaulted on the road by bandits. You can either take the beating and hope you don't die, maybe hope that some people are waiting the wings to revive you, or you could hire some guards to protect you. I think save scumming is fine when you're learning the game, but holy shit, that's some loud thunder. Did you hear that? Holy shit. But yeah, save scumming is fine when you're learning the game. I want to convince you, though, that one of the funnest things you can do is letting things play out, even when things go horribly wrong. When everything that doesn't kill you, it really does make you stronger. Every sword block, strike, crossbow shot, dodge, every time you walk somewhere over encumbered, every time you run, get resources, everything is upgradable the more you do it, which increases your efficiency at everything. The more you get your ass beat, the less likely you are to die from getting your ass beat, and the better of a fighter you are next time. Oh, the LL stands for lessons, baby. It makes me want to do and experience more, even though I'm risking my character's health. I started hiring guards that'll protect and revive me. It's expensive, but it's super worth the experience that you'll get, and eventually your characters can start slicing the enemies on their own. Really addicting cycle. Now, if you die, it's over. My first character I loaded into, I got in a fight with some bandits, died, left there on the side of the road. The world just kept moving without them, even though I had nobody left to control. I just had to reset. The game is also extremely open, letting you do whatever you want from early on. You could be a bounty hunter, a trader, a faction leader. You could become a warlord. You could try to be rich. You could try to become the strongest. You could just explore and discover the world's history. That's something kind of incredible about this game. The game does not have a narrative to tell you. The world exists on its own and relies on you to learn about the world and discover its secrets. Depending on who you talk to and even what race of character you are, you can even be lied to. I really enjoy this style of storytelling where it relies on a player's intelligence and thoroughness to actually get the lore. It's like how a good author has faith that the reader is going to pick up on subtle details, remember plot points, draw connections. I always loved how vague it was in Dark Souls, and I'm a big fan of it here. It's not cryptic like Dark Souls, like they're not speaking in tongues, but it wasn't exactly holding your hand either. So it is a post-apocalyptic setting that is far removed from the aforementioned apocalypse. Most of the world has no real idea of what events happened to cause the world they live in to exist. There are religions, there are songs, stories, historical logs to explain it, but some people out there were literally alive during these events but refuse to talk about it. There are talks of aliens, that these aren't the real denizens of the original world, fear of AI, fear of humans, lots of cool sci-fi shit motivated the history of Kenshi to happen, and to have you piece it together, you could also just ignore it. Maybe you're just horny for the apocalypse, in which case, hey, it's got the vibe.
Hey, want to listen to some tunes?
It rarely shows up to accompany you, and it is so rare and special that when you actually start hearing that emotional guitar, that shit transports you. I feel like I'm on a mission when I hear it. Listen, it's an extremely desolate game. That desolation is built into the gameplay too. There is no fast travel. You might have to travel through the rugged plains, endure toxic rain, wane through sand dunes, navigate your way through lands with dangerous wildlife, and defend yourself against fearsome bandits, cannibals, slavers, but I always feel like I know a little more about the world whenever I find a new town. Every new, unique NPC is extremely colorful but rare. I feel like I'm piecing everything together while also fucking around and collecting bounties and killing bandits. There are also some fantasy races in this game as well. Let me run you through them. Humans are divided into two sub-races, Greenlanders and Scorchlanders. Greenlanders, which are essentially humans like you and me, they have survived by sticking together, creating rigid structure, and are generally used to labor. The main hub for humans is the Holy Nation, which views other races as lesser or outright demonic. I could be wrong, but I think they're the faction with the most people as well. They come in any skin tone, and the reason that's important to mention is because of the other human race, Scorchlanders. Scorchlanders are humans with darker skin tone. What the fuck, Frog? You're just putting black people in a sub-race of humans? That's fucked up. No, hear me. I know what it looks like. It's not like that. Glowing eyes, white hair. Those are the two defining characteristics. They're humans who have evolved to survive in the hotter climates of Kenshi over 1,000 years. They are generally travelers and traders, which has led to the culture of them being excellent in social settings. Next up is the Shek, a humanoid race that have mutated to grow bones outside of their body like horns in order to defend themselves. They are a proud warrior race that seeks glory and self-fulfillment through fighting. Fighting capability and the desire to fight are seen as virtues in this society. Some people think they are capable of a much lower capacity for intellectual thought, but it's not true. Battle is just deeply ingrained in the culture, and it's what they value and live their life around. It's rare, but some Shek break away from the social norms to find their own path. They have a particular distaste for humans, calling them flatskins. They do, however, allow open trade for the sake of maintaining their economy. Horn length is a symbol of pride in Shek society. They are sawed down if a Shek has shown dishonorable conduct like cowardice. Their humanoid nature, capability of human speech, and the nature of their mutation has led to speculation of their origins, not just in Kenshi, but also the real-world Kenshi community. The Hives, the Hivers, they're bug people, which further adds to the speculation. Bug people come in a few distinct shapes and sizes with different hierarchical roles in their society, all of which is to serve their queen, with an innate sense of duty. It's not a question whether or not a Hiver wants to serve the queen, they do, it's a part of their nature. The laborers don't feel much different from the soldiers about their placement in life. Any place in service of the queen is essential. However, after maintaining a certain amount of distance from the queen and her pheromones for an extended period of time, a Hiver will start to think for themselves and develop their own sense of purpose, assuming that the separation from the queen doesn't outright kill them, which could very well happen. This generally happens to Hivers who don't do enough for the hive or are accused of lacking dedication. The lack of community fills ostracized Hivers with a deep sense of loneliness and a lack of purpose. They are also capable of human speech. Finally, the Skeletons, a race of robots who are entirely capable of emotions. They were built before the apocalypse. Who built them? Why? What their purpose was as a group still remains unknown. They tend to avoid other races and find them unreasonable. They are capable of humor, but their constant neutral expressions leads to confusion in many social situations with organic life. They kind of sound Sigma. And by that I mean autistic. They're also the only characters that don't need food for obvious reasons. Now I wanted to talk to you about an impressive mechanical feat that this game accomplishes. It is so impressive to me. The world happens without you. It's not just like what I said earlier, like, oh, you die and the world like keeps going. No, it's different. Literally the entire world, even when you're not looking at it, you're not in the vicinity of it, it is still being simulated without you. Enemies attack other enemies. You could walk along a path and come across corpses. These aren't scripted to be here. A real battle happened here. I got a message that a random cannibal den got destroyed. I had nothing to do with that. I didn't do that. The different factions of Kenshi have their own relationships towards each other. If a wolf meets a human, they'll try to kill him. If a bandit sees a person, they'll try to rob him. Cannibals like to kill and eat anybody, and the tech hunters are out there looking for old world tech and they're available for hire. A faction of ninjas guard bars. The Skeletons generally stay away from conflict and humans. The Shek tolerate trade, but actively seek out combat with the Holy Nation and bandits. The Holy Nations attack Skeletons on sight, and the Hive are bug people that either attack on sight or want to trade with you. This game is so impressive, especially because the game is like big. It's like big. Traveling is a part of the game. You're gonna need to be on the lookout for anything that is gonna jump at you while you're outside of town. There is no fast travel, and getting from the north side of the map to the south side can take like 20 minutes at least because of the fast forward function. This game needs a fast forward too because some things just take way too much time. I think it's to encourage you to actually go out and, you know, save these tasks for when you build a settlement. Like, you don't need the big money, you just need to go out there and experience stuff, which would be cool, but you do at least need some bodyguards. So you're always going to do a little bit of farming at the beginning of the game. You're either going to be waiting around for bandits to come to town so you can lure them into the town guard or the ninjas or whatever so they can beat the shit out of them so you can loot them and sell their stuff, or you just mine for ore. At which point, I'm leaving the desk, I'm cleaning my room, I'm doing squats, I'm eating a sandwich, bro. So back to the shit that I think is really cool and impressive. You remember how I said like everything was simulated? You could be farming in one area, then click your character's portraits that is out of town, other side of the map. Boom, your perspective immediately changes halfway across the world, and your character that you left continues to function in the way that you ordered to, with like a list of tasks. So if you can set up a food source and a good defense, they can generate resources and income for you to use out there. I obviously did it wrong, you know, so I talked about how I was doing it earlier. I just expanded way too soon, but I think it's an elegant system when it actually is being used as intended. Another complaint I have about the game is kind of a minor nitpick. It's got so many mechanics that it offers that when you don't have something specific, it feels off. Like if you give a mouse a cookie, if you give me a cookie, I'm having that milk, bitch. So like slavery exists in this world, right? Stay with me, don't leave. Slave is a status that certain characters have, so you would assume that you could capture and enslave enemies that try to kill you. You cannot. You can only sell them into slavery. You also can't nurse a hungry bandit or wolf back to health and make friends with them. They'll just attack you, which is fair. Like I saw the button for like the first aid on the wolf and the first aid on bandits, and I was like, if you heal them, will they like get up and like the dog will like you, or maybe like the bandit will be like, oh, you saved my life and you gave me food. I love you. I'd do anything you want, man. That'd be so cool. That'd be badass to have like a team of bandits that tried to kill you and you nursed them back to health. And, you know, it doesn't have to have like 100% rate. You just like, you know, some of them join you. I'll be honest, this cookie looking a little dry. Could use a little bit of milk, boss. What makes up for all these mechanics that is just like, ah, man, like, fuck, I wish they added that. They got Steam Workshop, dude. They got Steam Workshop. Dude, video games are infinity times better when they got the Steam Workshop going. Like, I know it doesn't take too much to, like, mod Risk of Rain, but no, I just want to do it on the workshop. I just want to do it on the workshop, dude. You already know people be coming up with anything, like anything. Did you know there was a Femboy Skyrim mod? Of course you do. My cookie's a little dry, bro. I'm gonna need a little bit of milk with this cookie. A big reason why this game might be lacking some polish, not only in a few minor mechanical details, oh my god, in a few minor mechanical details and a few bugs, like my character's not automatically collecting resources unless I save and reload while they're farming, but also just graphically lacking, is that the game was made by mostly one fucking guy, Chris Hunt, on the Ogre engine. For 12 years. The Ogre engine was released in 2005. Hurricane Katrina and YouTube happened that year. Two catastrophic disasters. I shouldn't have to explain the insane leap that just a few years is in tech and gaming, let alone 18 years. I'm not saying that the Ogre engine didn't have its updates, but let's be real, some better and more user-friendly tools had come out since Hunt had started working on Kenshi. Games are way more complex nowadays, and to work on that old engine by yourself since 2011, crazy, insane. It is a true passion project, and I feel it in the world that he's crafted. His sister did most of the dialogue, by the way. That dialogue is a treat to be savored every time because it is like real life. Not everybody is gonna exactly be interested in talking with a stranger, but there aren't that many people out there with some unique dialogue for you, let alone anything that talks about Kenshi's history. That's it for the video. That's pretty much it. This is not the last I'm going to be talking about Kenshi. I wanted to do some of those videos where people narrate their time with the game and tell a story. General Sam has some really good videos. I think it's really hilarious. Also, sorry for lack of upload like past 2 weeks. I've just been playing really long games. That's literally it. Hey, you want to hear my Patrick impression? Maybe it's the way you're dressed.
Holy shit.